What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. You know what we do in PhoneDog land when we have two awesome phones that need to be put together for the test? We dogfight them. That's what we do. We put together the Atrix 2 in this dogfight battle versus the HTC Amaze 4G. Both awesome phones, both awesome Android phones at that. Now this is a successor to the popular Motorola Atrix 4G on AT&T. It has a dual-core processor at 1 GHz, a 4.3-inch QHD display, so a little bigger display, and an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording on the back. Then you have the Amaze 4G, dual-core 1.5 GHz processor over here, 8-megapixel camera with a flash on the back, 4.3-inch display, but a beautiful, beautiful build quality. Take a look at this metal. It feels great in the hand, and it's an awesome device as well. Which one's going to win? Well, we'll find that out in the full dogfight, but first, special thanks to my boys at Best Buy for hooking us up with Atrixes, Amazes, all kinds of cool phones for use in our One Paw Bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get either of these devices, you won't deal with rebates. I hate debit cards. I hate waiting for all that stuff. At Best Buy Mobile, you'll pay out the door what you would pay after rebates. Pretty cool. It's only at Best Buy Mobile. Enough of that. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at messaging on both of these devices. We'll load them up and see, and I did not mean to do that. Let's go into messaging. There we go. And take a look at the interfaces. Now you can see obviously there's a little bit of a difference to the interface. The AT&T one has, or I mean the Motorola one has kind of a blue hue up here, and it's really cool to tell, especially if you've watched my videos in the past with some of these Motorola pen tile devices. You can really tell the colors are so much richer on this device, and the screen is just a million times more beautiful. So they really did a good thing removing pen tile on the Atrix 2. We'll load these up and take a look. Now you get two keyboards on both of these, but where the kind of little trick is this one is two keyboards in one. Over here you get Motorola's multi-touch keyboard and swipe as well. So if swipe's your thing, you can go in here and click on that and go to input method and switch over to swipe. But I like Motorola's multi-touch keyboard. I think it's the best Android keyboard in the industry. So we'll say the Quick Brown Fox is going to... Now, you have to remember, the Quick Brown Fox is pretty lazy, so he's going to binge drunk from 9 to 12. So he's crazy. So the Quick Brown Fox is going to binge drink from 9 to 12, and cell phones. He's going to sell phones too while he's doing that. So you can see portrait and landscape. You know, it's a little bit larger display here than the Atrix 4G. It's 4.3 inches. So in landscape, you've got some nice large keys, and then in portrait, you know, you still have keys that are easy to type on. So again, you know, multi-touch keyboard is fantastic over here. Then you have HTC's keyboard over on the Amaze 4G, and you know, it's pretty quick and easy to type on as well. Quick Brown Fox is happy to be alive after a wild weekend. Quick Brown Fox is happy to be Alice after a wild weekend, and you turn it over here in landscape. Relatively quick transition there, and again, 4.3-inch display, and it's a pretty long display at that, so it's easy to type on also. So I think for both of these devices, anybody that's coming from a device with a physical keyboard or is kind of uncomfortable about typing on an all-touchscreen device, I think you'll be happy with either one of these. Now where you get the second keyboard, this doesn't have swipe pre-installed. It has HTC's trace input. So let's say you're typing along, and you want to switch over to trace. Well, you can do that. How are you doing? And that was terrible, but let's try it again. Doing. There we go. Sing among sound, whatever. But you can see quick and easy to transition between both of those. So if you know you're in the middle of typing and you're like, I'm kind of tired of this, I'm going to draw it, you can do that pretty quick and easy. You can also disable that in the keyboard settings menu if you want to. So both have great keyboards. Let's take a look at cameras. Now 8 megapixels on both of these. HTC claims this is the best camera on any smartphone. We're going to put it to the test. We're going to bring over the HTC Evo Design 4G's spec sheet, and we're going to bring in some close. Let's do this right here. I'm going to bring it in and take a look here. And you have on this device, you have your volume rocker over here. You have a physical video camera button, a physical camera button. Then you have your micro USB charging port, which doubles up, I believe, as an HDMI port. And then 3.5mm headphone jack and power button up top. But let's take a look. Let's get it in close in this text. You can see it auto focuses on its own. And then let's bring it in as close as we can, actually. We're going to key specifications here. And you have to admit, to be that close, that's a clear looking device. That's a fantastic picture. I mean, I'm right on the page. Let's see how close we can get it, actually, for it. I can't even show you, like, man, I wish I could show you the side how close to the page I actually am. Now let's do it on the Atrix 2 and take a look at it as well. Let's bring it in. Take a look, key specifications. Still a good image there. And we'll load it up also. So you can see key specifications over here on the Motorola Atrix 2, and then the same thing over on the Amaze 4G. I'll tell you, in terms of camera, the Amaze 4G wins the cake. Now, I will say this is a pretty decent camera. You know, you're taking things in well-lit areas. You're looking for that casual shot with family, with friends. Atrix 2 is going to be just fine. It's not worth the real price difference unless you're just an absolute photographer and you want it. But still, I mean, this is so cool, or so fantastic that you can actually see the pixelation from the inkjet printer that printed this out. I mean, that's pretty impressive and still easy to read text. Over here, very bright, very vibrant, but still, when you zoom in on 768 megabytes, for example, take a look at the difference right there. So you can see a little bit blurry, a lot of it blurry, not blurry at all. So Amaze 4G wins the camera test. Both of these have 1080p HD video. I took some samples and put them on YouTube and on Phone Doc, so check those out if you're looking at the image quality themselves. Let's take a look at speed test and quadrant standard as well, because I want to show you those, make sure we have time for those. And we'll go into quadrant standard and take a look. Now, I'll tell you, both of these devices, in all honesty, in terms of call quality, have been fantastic. I've criticized HTC recently with the Sensation 4G and the Evo 3D for not having excellent wireless radios. I'm not seeing the same problem on the Amaze 4G. Wireless radio performance seems to be strong. I take this to T-Mobile, or took it to T-Mobile Dead Spot, and the T-Mobile Dead Spot was in, where was that? Northeast Charlotte, that's right. And it was pretty decent. Now, over here on the Amaze, or the Atrix 2 rather, call quality is still very good. Wireless radio is great. Motorola has an exceptional reputation for fantastic call quality. It doesn't change with the Atrix 2. Took this to an AT&T Dead Spot. It's in North Charlotte, and not Northeast, North Charlotte. And I was very pleased. I had no bars of service. It was a little rocky, but it was fantastic, and I was able to maintain the call. So very impressive. If you live in an AT&T fringe area, I'd highly recommend the Atrix 2, but the Amaze 4G has done a pretty decent job as well. So this one's loaded up. Let's take a look. On the Amaze 4G, you get 2,405, and then over here you're going to get, wait for it to zoom in, or wait for it to focus, 2,106. So 2,106, 2,405 over here. So pretty decent speed test on both fronts. Now, both of these are considered 4G devices because they both support their respective carriers' HSPA+. This supports HSPA+ on AT&T up to 21 megabits per second. This one supports T-Mobile's HSPA+ all the way up to 42 megabits per second if you're in a market that supports it that high or has that backhaul capability. Now, that said, you're never going to see those speeds on either of these devices. That's a theoretical peak that you're never going to reach, and that's theoretical with perfect, no traffic on the cell site. So something to keep in mind. But we're going to load up speed test on both of these and take a look at real time and see what they look like. And just to give you some comparisons here, because whenever I do these videos, I find that for whatever reason it seems to be the worst possible time to do them. You can see the speeds have been relatively fast. I mean, on AT&T's I've seen speeds 2.50 megabits per second, somewhere around there. I saw this one as high as 5 megabits per second, 5 here. So pretty impressive HSPA+ speeds. They're not LTE by any means, but over here on T-Mobile's I've seen speed as high as 12, almost 12 megabits per second, somewhere between 10 and 12 megabits per second, both here and in San Diego during CTIA. Now, you can see I've done some tests recently, and I just picked some bad times. But just to show you that, speed tests have been pretty decent on both of these devices. So we're going to load it up and take a look, and that one loaded in Chester, so I'm going to bring this one over to Chester as well, so we make it fair, and then we'll begin that test also so you can see. Come on, begin. I don't know what's taking this one so long. There we go. Come on. I don't know why it's slowing down like that, but you can see over here 1.85 megabits per second, which isn't really indicative of what it's been recently. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see why this one's taking so long to load up. I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll go ahead and turn it off and turn it back on. How about that? So we'll go in here into so we want a task manager on this device. Task manager, come on. So 1.86 megabits per second here, 1.13 megabits per second over here. So again, not really indicative of what's been going on a day-to-day basis. So I've seen speeds, like I said, between 8 and 12 megabits per second. So that's kind of a misnomer, but we're going to go ahead and end this application. Try this again. Speed test has been kind of funky lately on a lot of these devices, so wait for this to end over here on the Atrix 2, and we'll try it one more time so we can get an idea over here. Come on, speed test, and we'll load it up and take a look. But again, just to show you the results so you can see if you're just coming into the video, 10 to 12 megabits per second is really the norm with T-Mobile's HSPA+, 42 megabits per second. So we're going to begin the test over here and take a look at the AT&T one as well and see what it comes up with. I've seen, again, it only supports up to 21 megabits per second, but I've seen some pretty reasonable speeds on this sucker, all the way up to, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty good one, all the way up to about 3 megabits per second, and about 2 to 3 megabits per second on the upload. So Wait for it. 3.2, okay, a little higher, 3.4 megabits per second. And then on the upload, you're going to get a pretty decent speed as well. So pretty impressed with both of these devices on that front. Now, Dogfight winner has to be declared in this battle. I give it to the HTC Amaze 4G. It's definitely the higher spec device. It's definitely faster in performance, and not only day-to-day, but it won in the quadrant standard test as well. But again, look at the price difference between these devices. $99 for this, $259.99 for this. So if I walked into the store today, if you wanted my honest opinion, I walked in the store today with both of these devices, and somebody said you had to buy one, I'd buy the Atrix 2, just because of the price point for it's the best bang for the buck. $100 gets you a dual-core processor device, gets you a nice screen, a nice camera, and while this one does have a better camera and excels in almost every feature category above the Atrix 2, it's 260 smackers and not 100 smackers. So if you want to save a Benjamin and a half, I'd say go with the Atrix 2, but definitely the winner of the dogfight is the HTC Amaze 4G. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices, so keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're always doing cool stuff. We give away stuff from time to time, and we're just fun people to talk to, so be sure to like us. Follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on my personal Facebook page, Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked for more coverage on the Amaze and the Atrix on PhoneDog.com. We'll see you next time.